It's midnight mountain time. Do you fools realize it's 2 a.m. where I live? Usually at this time, I'm masturbating for the second time tonight and rolling over to sleep again, and you all are asking me for poems. American history looks for light. A prayer for the survival of Barack Obama in 5 voices. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Your hands can't touch what your eyes can't see. Muhammad Ali. 1. The bullet speaks of purpose. Trajectory is everything. The difference between a kiss off the ribcage or the blessed blood of a ripe organ. The brain protests the most. Neurons firing over and around the holy landing, trying to make sense of it. The wailing and the vivid snapshots. Metal tendrils reaching, trying to block out the light. 2. Malcolm pulls Obama's coat. There is no doubt in my mind they will come for you. Dozens at a time, miniature fighter planes built for just such an idealism as yours. They are amazing fish, fanning their steel gills like razors, formations neat and orderly as a school, barreling toward the heart, spleen, kidney, abdomen, anywhere there is light. 3. Obama plays the dozens. I'm so fast, I'll be gone by trigger time. I'm so bad, I beat Hillary by 30. I'm so slick, not even Bill could sink me. I'm so badass, my name is Barack. I'm so chameleon, my name is Hussein. I'm so pretty, your mama canvassed for me. I'm so pretty, your mama voted for me. I'm so pretty, your mama is my mama. I'm so good, I shook up the world. I'm so fast, I dodged a circus of bullets. I'm so fast, I flick the switch and be in bed before the light comes off. 4. The bullet takes the bait. Neither disease nor plane crash, not knife or hurricane or freak accident is as dramatic as me. See the body begin to decompose in an instant. See the body become particular. See the body become tendrils of impressionist thoughts. See how marvelous my entrance is, how devastating my exit wounds. I save my best work for the stage. 5. Bruce Lee knows from bullets. See this fist, this quick a cappella kick, kung fu, sure enough. What? See this sidestep, taekwondo. Don't you never think steel is hard like bone. Barack, I legacy you, me. Every dragon flow, strict mantis pose struck to cobra swift release. Don't you never think steel be hard like home. See this river flow, bones. See how bullets bury what they cannot kill. See how I live ecstatic, fly, jumpsuit, dramatic. Barack, I legacy you, me, like I loaned Muhammad the butterfly and the bee. We stay vested, historically protected, B. We battle terrific. Fuck Chuck Norris. Me and Jim Kelly's got your hood and your dome. Don't you never think steel be hard like stone. Tragicomedy of the Black Boy Blues, or a hip-hop negretto, or the boy became black at JFK. Does the boy with the umbrella worry who will protect him next? Is his skin the color of his true love's hair? Are umbrellas totems or buildings? Are the boys running behind the black boy laughing or just baring their teeth? Is it any different whether they spit on him or soak him in gasoline? Say wither, say the bathwater went out with the baby, say the baby, say the Germans had to have had something right wing, say we were all just billboards anyway. There is something absolutely fierce about leaving your house in the world and going abroad when you are black and ruled by nothing but fast twitch fibers and the fear of standing still. When the instinct is all faint and dip sharp left, jab step and full sprint right, split knuckle and the rust of blood in the cheek. If we are all to be truthful, we're pretty sure the girl wants nothing to do with us, but the black boy does. If we are all to be truthful, we can already smell his black flesh burning. Can't you hear it? The crackle of the skin, the smell of pork rind in the air, the eyeball pop, the drop step rhythm dissipate with the rope fibers in the morning air. Aren't we all just standing around watching things fall from the sky or burn into the ether? Where do black boys go when they fail? Where do black boys go when they succeed? Where do black boys go when they die? When the skin is ashes to dust, where do black boys go when they feel the need to scale fences? You can only move as fast as who's in front of you. That's what the black boy says. Unless you carefully slit the Achilles tendon of a motherfucker and make him bleed to a halt. This is the leapfrog dance, and this is America. Black boys waiting, what happens to the black boy if he just stands still? And 3 times we made love on the banister of her father's condo. And 3 times she told me she loved me. And 3 times she emphasized the black part. And 3 times her eyes were flat and gray in the distance except when they were green. And 3 times our sweat curdled into teardrops. And we licked every sweat drop up together and laughed all the way to the Million-Man March. The way we love each other is not healthy. The therapist is a predator. The black boy knows this, so doesn't want to go there. The way we love each other stifles bodies into wheezing. She does not know why he walks so close to the sides of buildings, why he dresses like all the other black boys, why his pants sag, why the hat is pulled so low, why he won't hang out downtown. All she knows is we won't love right, but the black boy fucks like a champion. Elvis Presley. Justin Timberlake. Michael Bolton. Vanilla Ice. Kenny G. The White Rapper reality show. To tell a woman you don't love her when you're both naked is inconveniently honest, not the place for it. If you are a black boy, it is the only place you can get away with it. Shiny sweat pooling on your hip bone as you walk away from the rubble of the bed. Say black boy 5 times fast and he will appear. Say inky binky spider. Say the umbrella is just an accessory. Say Stepin Fetchit was a legitimate actor. Say America got it right once. Say Tuskegee. Say Pine Ridge. Say Bay of Pigs. Say Michael Jackson's blood is on all our hands. The boy became black at JFK. He does not know where he belongs anymore. He hears shouts of his tropical childhood. He listens for the sound of kite tails in the wind. He is hip-hop. He owns a green umbrella. He's resistance music and conflict diamonds. He's learning to love his scars. He's making new scars of his own. They are beautiful. Women flock to the place where his downbeat sits. He is blacker than ever. He is blacker than ever. He is blacker than ever. And he likes it. All right. Okay, the kind of, the love poem kind of theme has been working. So I'm going to bring one to you right now. All right. I left a woman in a tie-dyed skirt, floor length, hip-high slit, singing a love song so sad she carried it into churches and schools, taxi cabs, other lovers' mouths. Woman sang so high, so taut, her dirge became dirigible. Funk so sweet, you have to leave the country to escape. She had legs like churches that she never shaved, and her belly button caved like an intention towards her spine. I drove like a madman every Saturday night after I dropped her off from the sweet funk fucking she put all over my body just to get away from the power of all that heavy, all that heat. 19 and New Worlded. There were men with guns in their waists and bottles of beer big as bazookas. Trolled my way to the courts where mythical 4-finger ringed figures holding up a skyline on their knuckles lay down C-notes on pickup games, so I passed up open shots. but defended like a three-headed junkyard dog, refused their ends, but tossed back their 40s night after night after night. When the magical devil's wife woman called, I was gone. I was gone from under the safe quilt she spun, funk like a veil. I was bulletproof, I swear, for at least my first 6 months here, and I figured out the reason why. Check it. Every Saturday night before we'd hit the party, she'd make herself a new dress. She'd get down like the river queen, and exactly half an hour later, the humming that was the machine or her throat, but that sounded like angels coming and coming on some new ecstatic shit, and out would come something floor-length like floodwater, slitted open to a hip, like a cutlass swipe meant for the throat, and it was the throat it throttled every time. She sewed in blues and yellows, bronzes and golds, all the colors of dreaming, several calls of protection and fear. And I would interpret these badly and grind soft throughout the night, sometimes with a moon overhead and a soft surf trampling me right, a calypso in my unschooled chest while I smelled the funk off of her neck and unshaved legs while she fucked me down, down into a home would protect me, but I drove away from all that. Two-fisted cutlass swinging, foot to the floor, bareback and sweating, singing songs of love and triumph, lighthouses and seashells, flowers and becoming. When she called, I was gone. Her cries were an open hymnal for forgetting at the end of the phone line, the golden throat-slit garments laid out to make a sky for me. But I was prodigal. I was already my own lament, growing calluses and scars into one large allegory even the surf could not unravel. Song for Trent Lott, who said, "We'll be a better country today if Strom Thurmond had won the presidency." You think you'd have survived that vote, Mr. White Man? Do you know what we do in the dark? We took your rags and made rope, took your kindling and grew fruit, picked your cotton and crafted reconstruction. That slave barrack hunger rages in our history. This too we take into the dark. Take it with our dances and our languages, huddle close to it in the Georgia cold or Alabama cold or Maryland cold. Who we be? You can't know us. We surviving the crossing and the crossings. We making it onto auction block and first round draft pick. We crossing ocean and swamp. We descendants of amputees and unknown fathers ridged with wealth and patience. All this we take into the dark at night where you will not follow, where the dogs cannot reach, where you'd rather cut your losses on a nigger than lose 2 more bloodhounds to the chase. We have survived. Imagine what we hold in the corners, in our shadows, who survived Tuskegee and smallpox blanket, heroin and COINTELPRO, Project Housing and Jim Crow, Lynchburg, Virginia and Lynchburg, Pennsylvania, Lynchburg, Texas and the whole motherfucking state of Mississippi. We feed on that slave barrack dust, grow fat on your hatred, bleed songs and tap dances from your leftovers. Imagine who we be. Living through the sardine shipments, the rapes, the beatings, the castration, the humiliation. What son of Denmark Vesey you want to fuck with? What child of Tubman or Asata you want to run with? What son of Cuffy, Louverture or Douglas? What Nat Turner progeny is in our dark corners waiting to rise? The seed of Huey, child of Malcolm, Amistad badass. You think you want to follow into this absurd future, not knowing the difference between backs and walls? What child of Crazy Horse you think you want to fight? These two we take into the dark, into these mysterious folds of skin, under arms and between our legs, backs of our throats and all them swamps you don't want to follow through. East New York, Brooklyn and Oakland, California, Fifth Ward, Houston and Southside Chicago, every reservation, every storefront church, every Santero ritual and Erzuli offering. What Buffalo Soldier you think you want turning on your ass? What jazz riff, hip hop beat or gospel growl you want raising spirits against you? What Zydeco, what Capri capoeira, you want holding a gun to your head. We who survived Tuskegee and smallpox, who didn't get thrown overboard, who didn't get sick in the passage. This shit ain't no coincidence. All this we take into the dark and grow it stink to fester like culture. You don't want no more of this Mau Mau shit, none of this Black Jacobin shit, none of this Panther shit from we who survived Giuliani and Jasper, Texas. You think this shit would have been easier? So, I'm a big fan of Lil Wayne. And one of the 784 reasons I love Lil Wayne is because of Lil Wayne's love with rhyming a word with itself. Which truth and in fact has precedence in an old Middle Eastern form known as the ghazal, which some people pronounce the ghazal, in which you have a number of couplets, the last phrase of each couplet, which is always the same all the way through. So what I've done with this poem, which is a tribute to Lil Wayne, is I've kind of pushed the form to absurdity and had each line end in the same word. And this poem is called Contradiction, a ghazal for Lil Wayne. The epigraph is from Walter Whitman. Do I contradict myself? Very well then, I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. America don't want too many layered niggas. America's scared of another player, nigga. You show America how Katrina played a nigga. You rock and roll vicious but still stay a nigga. You rep blood ties like you they may a nigga. You spit grimy flows like you ain't afraid of niggas. Work for your bling like a John Henry nigga. They don't know you're dark or how you heavy nigga. Can't tell you how you got your pennies nigga. Tupac incarnate, you contain many niggas. Show mad love but take on any nigga. Stay lifted and tight, you rhyme with any nigga. How we gonna front on an inventive nigga? You are America, you contain many niggas. My name is Roger Anthony Bonair Agard. My name is a myth of its own creation, its syllables conjured by fear. My name is given me by an anxious history. The meat of it is always about loss and return. I was born between two rivers in a valley of a shadow of blackness. My name means famous spear. It is old German. It is the purview of warriors. My name means priceless. It is old Latin. It is the purview of kings. My name means beautiful one. It is old French. I wear it like a sixth finger. When I was 23, I managed the records of membership and death. Membership and death bear their own names. They keep mine locked in the safe of their own mythology. The old man says, fuck you, I say, my name means free to go about my own business. They came to me with solemn voices to purchase plots, to give them seats in the temple. They did not recognize my name, or sometimes they did. Are you French? Are you a Jew? Are you black? May I speak to someone white? They came to me with celebration. This is my son David. This is my daughter Rebecca. This is their child Noah, Rosenbaum, Miller, Tish, Mandel. They brought me their tithings of laughter, history, wine, hubris, hate. I gathered them onto me to make myself new armor. My name is the firstborn son of a single mother. She is always a basket on a river. She's named after a beautiful boy. We cup the irony like a river. Her name is the purview of gods. She holds on to me like a promise. She gave me literature and the love of all things holy. And rum is holy. And dominoes are holy. And the smell of night-blooming jasmine is holy. She adorns her walls with the crawl of bougainvillea, and these two, holy. During the high holy days, they come to me for seats in the temple. They come to me without knowing my name. They come to me without knowing the meanings of likeness or image, but they offer me bottles of wine and good legal advice. They offer me tickets to the Knicks and Rangers. They do not speak to me if I do not have a name tag. They do not look long enough to see the name tag. My name means invisible. It does not belong to me. My name means holder of seats which are closest to God. My name means holder of land which is closest to death. I am 23 years old. I'm a litany of violence. I am moon on a dance floor. I am drunken promise behind the wheel of a car. They advise me like their own son. They urge me back to school. They urge me back into the carapace of my own mind. My name means guardian. It is Old Norman French. It is the purview of lords. My name means elaborate caskets and endowments for the temple. I am 26 years old. I do not know my name. I am untethered as a cloud. They come to me with new ways to talk about race. They come to me with words and new literatures. My mother's name means music, means builder of things. She gave me fists and a fencer's tongue. My name means builder of things. They come to me with poetry. It is the purview of the lost. Thank God they have come. My name means hunger. My body means hunger. I'm a litany of hunger. All my poems. Hunger.
Oriana spent 4 consecutive days on the mountaintop meditating over her beliefs. When she returned to the village, she gathered all those who didn't believe the divine that spoke to her, scaled the tallest tree in the town with rags bound about her neck, told them all that blood was on their hands before skydiving towards the ground her feet would never reach. There is a grim fairy tale world where Arthur Miller would roll around in 17th century hay and call this thing beautiful. Today, we call it an over-medicated homemaker that specializes in pound cake and doubting herself every waking moment. At night, her American dream evolves into washing broken china plates and testing her son's breath under bath water against the endurance of her shoulder. It's so easy to call this crazy. Like, yo, old boy's really cool, but he's crazy. Like, crazy wasn't a collection of martyrs dying for a cause that doesn't exist. As if it were a badge of honor, the stripes stapled to our arms like medals of valor. The word itself rose from the mud to become something fashionable. You know, like thug, or nigger, or motherfucker, or homo, as in no homo. You be crazy. I think that's offensive, son. Crazy like prescription drugs kill more Americans than car accidents. Crazy like 1 out of every 4 people are diagnosed with depression and then given prescription drugs. Because, you know, depression is just the first of a 4-step drop into crazy. Now, ain't that? Yeah. See, this is where the patient meets the padded wall. The expectations we tuck into the back pocket of normal. The ready-made excuse we put in the tablets and gel caps. Oh, don't worry about him. He didn't take his medication today. Don't mind Will. He acts crazy sometimes. As if Will is a really good guy when he's not being an inconsiderate asshole. It's not your fault. You're fucked up and act out, baby girl. You're just crazy. You're a castrated bull. You're a tank that takes up refuge in the ocean. Here, take 2 of these. Call me every time you remember that a cold world is still, in fact, a cold world. Take the blue one twice. If anyone tries to convince you are strong enough to do this on your own, you would love to call this normal. But your 8-year-old is a walking ad for medical docility and takes more pills a day than the times you tell him no. But I know you've seen it. The way his eyes gloss over like he sees the world is brand new every 5 minutes. Those windows to the soul some doctor told you was attached to a vacant house. It's so easy to call this crazy. But aren't we all just building escape hatches on the submerged submarines? Aren't we all just temporary fixes to God's boredom, waiting for him to speak to us, assuming the blood is on everyone else's hands when they can't hear him like we do? It's not the human that makes us broken. It's the broken that makes us wish humanity were easier to define. Not this box of picket fences, not this landscape painted with full scholarships or McDonald's drive-through servers, not the vertical trains in your forearms that don't deserve derailment, or Oriana's village, or the millions of poor people outside of our country that aren't lucky enough to be crazy. So tell me, how fucking crazy is that? This was a poem, actually, I did a show at one of the correctional facilities in Central Ohio, and this cat came up to me afterwards like, man, I really dig your work, but you don't do a whole lot of black poetry. And I said, well, dog, I'm black, and I'm a poet. Everything I do is black poetry as far as I'm concerned. And, but this is kind of a response to that since we are in the last day of Black History Month. So this is called The Embattled Man, or the conversation we'll have in lockup because we both fit the description. The embattled man walks with no limp, no cane or angst-ridden crutch, but his scars are as visible as the blue streak slitting open the horizon. The embattled man has a selective memory, selects every memory he's allowed to keep, gives dignity his last name, and wears pride like a skin color. He blushes at women clutching their purses at his arrival. Been a long time since anyone gave a damn about his approach. Battles demons daily for the right to be demonized and cares not for ancestry or roots planted in segregation. History has a tendency to repeat itself, and who are any of us anyway if we're not pledging someone as our master, submitting devotion to deities when we were slain in their name? But he listens for thunder when flashes of brilliance stab the sky. Awaits a purpose that begat writing, begat hieroglyphics of cave drawings where spears pierced the side of buffalo back when Christ roamed the western hills. You can hear the embattled man crying in Mayan tongue, trying to smear his palms all over his body because they're only a part of him, the color of pure. He's tired of praying to temples that return omnipotence and waning, manifest destiny and 2/5 away from being honest. He's fed up with backing boulders up the side of pyramids he no longer believes in, believes hurricanes lack ambition since they don't grant baptism to the faces carved on the side of mountains. How dare you call the founding fathers close to God? Dynamite is to history as Tuskegee syphilis is to a culture worth preserving. These guys carry secrets whispered in the ears of English monarchs with the taste of sugarcane still whistling through their teeth. The embattled man loves the ocean but fears the voices in it. Knows map makers know the African continent fitting perfectly with North America, but doesn't know where he as a North American would fit in Africa. Tells murals to bleach him in nightfall, he's been black a lot longer than it's been politically correct. Tells poets to stop giving him wings and instead prays to bleed candle wax so he can blaze a trail from the battles he's fought. Smuggles black magic between his temples and calls it education. Loves his tomorrows like premature newborns love their yesterdays. Better to have loved and lost than to have loved your master's daughter and been castrated for it. Knocks down the walls of the Lorraine Motel, prances out in the Miranda saying we are bigger than the sum of our parts. The embattled man has been here before, smirking when he feels someone thought his church was worthy of being bobbed, laughing at Purple Heart ceremonies when New Orleans gives rainbows to its veterans. The embattled man knows English but barks his message, hunts in packs but eats alone, selects every memory he's allowed to keep, and never, ever lets them go. Excuse me, miss. I believe you're stepping in my ghetto. Yes, it's my ghetto. Every broken sidewalk and oil-leaking car of it. Every corner store and lowered expectation is mine. I mean, ours. I think they used to be yours. It is both given and birthright. Both bequeathed and left for dead like dreams that grow plump on lard. We are resolute. We are hood. We are so gangster. We are immune to the smell of our own decay. But this is my lamppost, my lookout spot. My sewer still reeking of a teenage girl's virginity. Don't you cry for her. She was born here. If she's scared now, she'd be a long time dying. But her sons were born here too. One day, his children gonna bury Pops up on 17th Avenue if they ever get to know the bastard. Shit, like they know themselves if stop signs didn't fall from the sky. Like the concrete hadn't grown tall from hell raised on Satan's tears. Where were you, money? Where were you when I carved complacency on the back of my eyeballs? Where were you when I wore sag in my jeans because mom used my belt to tie off her forearm? There's a difference between America and my America. You better wise up. I ain't got no crossover. The only Ivy League around here, the weeds growing around that mailbox. My back is a Picasso painting you ain't brave enough to frame. Don't feel sorry for me. This is my home. So far for these lames, they claim that I'm lazy. Guess they don't know how hard it is making death look this easy. Banging their head against the bricks like I give a shit about their 5-year plan. Like a rehab coffee shop ain't just good English for handout. Like a bookstore ain't a cancer ward for born losers. I'll pass on that. I got enough liquor with me to make a Rhodes Scholar my brother. I live a charmed life. I draw buildings in the dirt and call it boardwalk. I can wrap my arms around everything worth dying for, and sometimes they don't make it that far. But it's still all mine, ours. used to be yours. So why do you hate on my scars like you don't have a matching set? Like you ain't never had to travel down these navy blue tracks. Why does a dog enjoy the scraps a butcher tosses it? Why does a battered woman think a man with a stomach full of needles has room left for her? Because the ghetto loves me. I'm a lot of things, man, but ungrateful ain't one of them. The ghetto loves me. Why wouldn't I love her back? If I kissed you under this tipsy sky, could you resurrect me before it wakes up? Before the clouds get their bearings and discover my body wrapped in silkweed with traces of your voice still leaving slight bruises on my shoulders? Could you break me and reshape me as a sundial so I'm useless when your light is taken from me? Like the earth was allergic to my parallel and refused to let me fall. Like you stored magnets in your cheeks and I could never pull away from your smile. Tell me where the sidewalk ends. Tell me this temple you've been building has walls made of nothing but the sound of you sleeping. I will rest there like a wounded soldier with his memory cut out during battle. Sleep under my shield so I'm not devoured by your reflection. I want to draw the ocean you dream of being rescued from. The scarf you think is much too warm to wear on most days and prompts you to expose yourself to the unknown. The wind at your back that reminds you nothing can move you. Not a boulder ignorant of gravity, not a blizzard who only wants to spin himself till he is back to the first snowflake he began as. I miss you in a way a needle misses the inside of forearms. How guitar strings hate to love the notes that leave it. I want to bring a forest fire to your open sky so you can see that you are above majestic things destroying themselves. Lock your ankles to summits and watch you move mountains when you dance. This waltz of volcanoes imploding, holding in tears of watching you paint gods across its face. If I kissed you under this tipsy sky, would you tell my mourners I died a hero? That you held me like a noose when you hung me from your lips, that I am refused to step away from your ribcage when your heart came barreling down the tracks. I want to bleed this sand so when you hold these hourglasses, my life would rest in your hands every night. The sky drinks its own weight in your eyes and is too drunk by dawn to fight off the coming day. We are all numbing the pain of losing what we never really deserved to have, flying kites during thunderstorms, trying to forget the taste of safety on our tongues. If I kiss you, I want you to carry me home, because I'm pretty sure I've never been there before. That's it, y'all. That's it. Clyde only picked sticks when he was nervous. Clyde was only nervous around women, so working the Chattanooga boutique, Clyde picking, using ballpoint pens to give Mondays a little rhythm he's supposed to be counting pantyhose with. They said, make the mark with your black ink, boy, put them pumps up on the top shelf. Clyde grabbed that step stool, called it throne, grabbed them size 12 punk boxes, called them snares, bounce sipboards, and sipboards called them cymbals. This is how you stay alive in 1950 Tennessee. Hold sticks between fingers like they were hammers. I said, swing hammers light as feathers, like a wrecking ball wrapped in velvet, like trying to cuddle with a full-grown lion. That's how you swing them. Try to take a man's mustache off with an axe. You hear that? Old Sue from down the way heard it. Old Malunda with the swoop foot walked quick to get an earshot. Never heard Angel's horseplay before. Heaven knows you're not before it enters, best be ready. Heaven knows you're not before it enters, but a drummer don't hear that. Just hear the bass drum 4 seconds before it's turn. Stick out taps won't get you in this door, boy. Stick out taps won't get you in this door, boy. Won't get you in this door, boy. You better bang that wall. Bang that wall like Rome wants to greet you, like a Klansman got a cross to bury. I dare you to ask. I dare you to ask that man about his shoes. I dare you to ask that man why his shoes are so clean, no, he walked through the mud just to get here. I dare you to ask that man why his shoes so clean, left foot, pound that floor, talk make thunder in a turned over skillet with that foot tap, like a telltale heart on the floorboards, in case Superbad didn't make it to heaven, in case hell still pulls a good crowd. This is how I stay alive in 1950 Tennessee. I saw a drummer once, still 8 years old and flailing my arms like I knew Clyde was watching. I wanted to hear that bass drum, wanted to know what soul felt like. That drummer let me do it. That drummer let me do it. That bastard let me do it. No one would happen. I walked away bleeding from my right ear. He said, take that with you. Take that with you, young blood. Now, no one can ever lie to you. My ear bled all night. My ear bled all night and only stopped when Mama played Phyllis Hyman. Now I can't hear shit. Can't hear nothing out that ear except Satan laughing when it rains outside, except the drummer when the hustler sweats. Clyde, so that's the truth being hard on me. Truth don't kill wickedness. It don't kill wickedness. It just makes the land too expensive for wickedness to settle. But Clyde, he don't talk a whole lot. He let them sticks speak for him. He let them sticks stir fission in the atom bombs, but he don't talk a whole lot. He used to piss off Miss Baker that runs the market. Tired of watching Clyde pick them sticks, she said, boy, you ain't got the sense that God gave a mule. He said, why would I? I ain't no damn mule, man. Clyde went right back to picking. Wrist over wrist, he's trying to bang shackles together. Wrist over wrist, he's trying to bang shackles together. Wrist over wrist over wrist, he's trying to break shackles. Heard the tale tall as Goliath once. Young couple walked to the Key Club before the band showed up. Clyde slumped behind his tower, let hell sleep for another hour. Young pretty thing asked Clyde to play a bass line while she sang. Asked Clyde to play a bass line while she sang. I wish she hadn't. Wish this silly bitch hadn't asked Clyde to play a bass line while she sang. Clyde let her off easy though. Let her off easy though and then speak. Grip the drumsticks hard because they were trying to scream, tell this heifer, we don't play bass lines. We play heartbeats. We play heartbeats. We play marches to the Capitol. We play waterlogged steps to the Superdome. We play Questlove's Train of Thought. How dare you ask for a bass line while you sing some low-rent sideways Aretha knockoff, no less. Tell me this, though. Tell me this. Would you ask Jesus for tap water? Would you ask Houdini for parlor tricks? Would you ask the archangel to negotiate on your behalf? No. No. You don't ask Monk to play the keys, you ask him to make a harp weep. You don't ask Jimmy to play his guitar, you ask him to pluck a fault line till jazz falls out. Be careful what you ask for. I say be careful what you ask for. Asked the bass drum once, I still can't hear shit. Satan laughs in that ear every time I say I miss my hearing, but Clyde ain't no monster. He just hides monsters in his drums, hides them in his drums. Have you ever seen a man train monsters with drumsticks? Me neither. I never seen a man jitterbug during the earthquake either, but I believe it. Never seen a man ask for lightning to be placed in his palms to birth thunder, but I believe it. I believe he beat that drum. I believe he beat that drum like monsters want to get out, Clyde. Like monsters want to get out, Clyde. You hear that? James Brown heard it. Charlie Patton still hears it when he gets on his knees. When no man was hiding a wrecking ball under a velvet cloak. When no angel's horseplay, no one ever told you different. Heaven knows you knock before it enters. Heaven knows you knock before it enters. Heaven knows you knock. It just enters. Best be ready. Best be ready. Best be ready. Thank y'all, Denver, for having me tonight.
All right, so this is a little poem that we wrote. If you don't like it, come talk to us. We're nice guys, okay? We're nice guys. Shout out for all my brothers out there. Men, can I hear you make some noise? This is for y'all, but it's on behalf of the females. It's a little piece called Chromosomes. She's like, we'll see about that. I don't know. According to most female poets, the ink on the holy scriptures of the world should have been made with their vaginal secretions.
Women are never co-creators in dysfunctional relationships.
And if a human happens to be born equipped with a penis, he is more than likely a sexual predator.
Can I get a lawyer to litigate my gender's redemption?
My sister's wombs are being attacked, and I fit the description.
Forensics calls me
the broken X chromosome, the Y, genetically predisposed to break the hearts, homes, and wills to survive of those who gave him his life in the first place.
They've examined women's tears and found traces of testosterone from those whose soulmates became the source of their destruction.
And I'm a nice guy. I haven't hit a girl since Sonya Blade in Mortal Kombat 3, and she quite literally ripped my head off.
So I get it stapled on, start speaking spoken word, and on Women's Night they once again
rip my head off. And I can't help but thinking, is this how white poets feel when they go to black venues? Falsely accused and in need of vindication.
But let them tell it. You're not a real woman unless you've experienced violation.
And that's sadly not too far from the truth.
The statistics reek like burning flesh from a millennium-long witch hunt against souls with the courage to be born with the womb.
Urgent memo from the male of the species. I am learning that you are still bleeding. I am learning
that dicks are not daggers.
I am learning that poetry and pistols are one and the same when scorned women pick up ink pens and start to take aim.
Put the gun down, woman.
Drop the weapon and step away from the mic.
Because I don't think the page can hold any more blood.
Poetry so entrenched in pain, I wonder if happiness will ever convince you to smile again. And I'm funny.
I can make a statue of a weeping angel on a tombstone, crumble in a laughing fit, but
you make me believe I have a better chance walking along the surface of the sun barefooted before walking alongside you in harmony with as much as a grin on your face.
Just because I was born with a penis does not mean I was put here to fuck you over. But I understand you have been. Over and over.
And over again, my hands have been reborn, baptized by your tears.
My lips have nurtured those wounds that ran so deep even time refused to heal.
I have loved you when you have lacked love for yourself.
I have memorized your pain like prayer with the hope that you would see the God in me.
But instead, I continue to be demonized, falsely categorized to fit the profile of a thief.
But I'm not to blame for the pain he caused you.
The only reason I've ever raised a hand to you was to please
Like
you.
the words in this sentence, I place you before me.
I have attempted to walk a mile in your shoes, but you blindfolded me along the way and then blame me for getting lost. So I rely on my other senses to make sense of this.
Show me how you heal.
Tell me where it hurts, and I will stitch my poetry into wounds generations deep until our great-grandchildren bear beauty marks in the shape of our intimacy.
Can you look me in the eyes and tell me my touch is worthless?
If you mean it, I will leave, but if you need it, let me see, because men will never change if our women don't believe that we are more than this.
More than round-robin spoken word verbal castration.
More than narcissistic blame games misplacing our hatred.
More than the sum of our parts
when two halves are made whole. More than animals reacting to programs in our chromosomes.
We try within environments where the night is spent inviting sins, but we are not alone. I stand, you stand, we rise together. We stand, link hands and rise together. I stand, you stand, we rise together.
You are not alone.
We stand.
If you're afraid they would call you different or ignore you, you are not alone. Did they mistreat you? Did they take away something that you can never give back? Is there a hole in you? Do you fill it with things that only make the hole larger? Know that you are not alone.
We're not alone. When your silhouette no longer outlines the pavement because the sun decides it can no longer be distracted by you. When the night slits the throat of your prayers before they ever reach heaven, leaving your amens to coagulate on the foreheads of clouds into blackened ash crucifixes. You are not alone. When you can't touch her face again. When you've seen the earth grow more headstones than flowers, like the air is all too eager to jettison itself from our lungs forever. You are not alone. We are not alone.
I have known the police questions that keep you trapped in his playback. I have known the secrets we keep from siblings, from the solicitude of finding out that we are his favorites.
I know what it's like to put the razor there.
We are the dancers with no feet, but we keep the beat steady with our hearts.
We are the numbers the system lost count of. We are the poem that saved your life. You are not alone. We are not alone. When your mother's needle injects meth into the veins of the very same stars that you wish upon. When the monsters under her bed refuse to use protection when invading yours, what do you do?
What can you do?
When you're so thirsty for love that your tongue starts to skewer until you would crack the sky in half just to drink from heaven's sewer. Reach for me, because you are not alone.
In the desperation of his 17-year-old eyes, I see more potential than an idea Rivera never manifested on a canvas. He makes the city his, scribes pieces of his soul into windows, not knowing his pain is as transparent as the glass, sprays a mask moniker underneath street lamps so he always shines brighter than the darkness of his insecurities. He left his self-esteem next to a cigarette butt at the bottom of a bottle bought by relatives who see no problem feeding fires. His silence speaks in the language of desperation, and he wants to change. So he keeps a lucky penny in his pants pocket along with the quarter I gave him to call with whenever he is in need. He is not alone.
His eyelids are levees holding back hurricanes, and we are pitching pails alongside him.
She is not alone. There are enough tears amid us all to fill the shallow waters beneath. They are not alone.
There are enough of us to carry the weary to the mountaintop.
We are not alone.
Our prayers punch holes in the same sky.
We are not alone.
We are not alone.
I am not alone.
I am not alone.
I am not alone.
We are not alone.
And neither are you.
Slam Nuba, thank you very much.
Slam Nuba.
So I've been smoking lately, An exercise in concentration, pushing clouds from my mouth and nose, concentrating ancestors' stories, gifts into prose, scribbled into a tablet, scented with the filth of a habit, not yet permanent, but temporarily necessary. Inhaling the toxicity of my environment, then setting it on fire, blowing its forever altered remains into the face of a new day. See, holding on to these poems is as cancerous as the tar that I replaced them with. The self-destructiveness is characteristic of my martyrdom as an artist. This is circular as rings pushed around the stiffness of my tongue over teeth through lips. This gift is not on demand, not Comcast. Fuck Famecast. They tell me ISIS. You should write about insert topic here. I tell them nah. I should write about the countless ways to insert goddess where she's been burned from Bible pages. See, fire changes things, but earth can recreate them. So yeah, I've been smoking lately. Unladylike because the habit is nasty, but misogynist force their dicks into the mouths of queens and rename us nasty. I proclaim that the fire of this earth will leave whatever I put in my mouth forever changed, and I will still remain the same. So go ahead and put me on your tongue, huh? Taste the God you once were. I'm daring you. Call me cocky. I am not an MC. My worth is too large to abbreviate. See, this morning I set fire to a verse and renamed myself Mother of Ceremonies, and me thinks it quite fitting. I sit in chain smoke pondering why you think Lil Wayne's chain, because it's laced with diamonds, is so dope that its characteristics no longer resemble a rope draped by an industry. BET is the new lynching tree. You don't believe me? See, they skinned and lynched Michael Jackson for slaying white women in the aisles, straight Nat Turner style. And in 100 years, our underdeveloped youth might find his original nose on display. But you go on ahead, huh? And press play. Listen for the signals of smoke sins while you burn trees and envision black boys stunted from manhood by tall teas. Set your iPod in time with the pops and shaclack cracks of the blood red cherry. You let it burn, ashes to ashes, trust to dust, yeah. I've been smoking lately. The clouds of singed clove leaves leave the words echoed from my chalice heavy, making my voice seem ancient and raspy. Most days I don't even sound like me, but I find my footing and familiarity by planting my seeds by my earth, in taking water ceremoniously, setting fire to the things birthed from me, blowing smoke rings toward the wind, existing in all the elements. Right now I'm working on comprising 9 lines to complete me, y'all, and I'm cloaked in 360 degrees of smoke. Yeah.